You're listening to Frankie C. Sports on Northeast Streaming Sports.
What is going on, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. Normally, I would say Frankie C. Sports, but this is a new show and a fresh episode for both me and my new partner, Jay McLovin, where we now like to call the Top 5 Sports Show, where we're just going to, basically it's not going to be a long show like we normally do on the weekends or Jay likes to do with Unscripted, but it's just going to be something where we'll get together on Friday nights, every Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we're gonna just discuss our top five, top five athletes, top five teams, top five everything that's got to do with top five. Just like Jay and myself, we like to call ourselves the top five podcasters of Northeast Streaming Sports and everything like that. So, this is why we had to come up with something like this. How are you doing tonight, Jay?
Man, good. Honestly, man, it's been a long day. How you been, brother?
I've been good. It was a nice day. Took care of the kids. I was able to, to get some updated stuff on my sports page and stuff like that. I'm really glad we got together and we were able to do this because I like working with you and you like working with me, and me and you, we are close buds and stuff like that. So this is amazing. I can't wait. We're gonna have an amazing time doing this show now.
All right, let's kick this thing off.
All righty, let's do it. So our first topic of the day, obviously, since our show is called the Top 5 Sports Show, we're going to start off with the top 5 QBs of all time between me and Jay. Jay, for all of you who are watching, you guys should know that Jay is a little bit older than I am. So he's been around during the NFL with legendary quarterbacks that I don't know, or I have never watched. So I'm gonna go ahead and just state the fact that I'm gonna pick the top 5 quarterbacks for me on the era of when I was able to watch and learn the sport of football. I know Jay's gonna take it back in time and give you guys some updated some past stats and everything like that for the legendary quarterbacks. Just a little heads up on that one. But yeah, we're gonna get started with the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. I'm sure me and Jay can come up with a lot more than the top 5 quarterbacks. But like I said, this is our new show and we call it the top 5. Jay, do you want to start it off?
Yeah, sure, absolutely, Bubba. So I'll start off.
Let's start number 5. Let's start off with number 5.
Yeah. So my number 5 is Drew Brees. I went with him because of his longevity. This guy's been playing since I remember he came back in the early 90s. We started out with San Diego Chargers, and he played, I think, 3 or 4 years, something like that with those guys. And then for some odd reason, they felt he wasn't good enough, or he was undersized, or he just wasn't fitting their mold, or what have you. So they wound up shipping him off for a guy like Phillip Rivers. Look back on that one, I don't think that was quite a good move on their part because Phillip Rivers never really got him anything anyway, nor did he get anything with Indianapolis as we saw last year. So,
right.
But we do know that Brees went on to New Orleans, got up under Sean Payton, and went on to win not only a Super Bowl, but many other accolades as well. I mean, the guy had 11 5,000-yard seasons? Or excuse me, he had 5. There was in the NFL, there have been 11 5,000-yard seasons. Out of that 11, Drew Brees accounts for 5. So almost 50% of the 5,000-yard seasons, which everybody knows is hard to do, Drew Brees accounts for 5 of them, and that's something to be said. I mean, the guy is he's considered by many to be probably one of arguably the best passers in the game. I think he makes his receivers look better. He surely makes Michael Thomas look better, and makes Kamara. He made Deuce McAllister. I mean, all those guys, right? He's elevated their games to a certain level, no matter who he's had on from Joe Horn to anybody else you want to throw out there. I mean, he's just elevated all of their careers, and he was always that one common denominator, and he's always been in Super Bowl contention. I mean, you saw I mean, he's been in countless numbers of NFC title games. Unfortunately, he didn't make it to the Super Bowl this go around, but he got really, awfully close. But he was never a GQ guy. He was never that long ball sexy guy. He was just always a producer. I mean, he went out there and he just produced. He's kind of like that blue collar quarterback, that everybody loved, just a hardworking guy. And that's why I got Drew Brees at number 5, just because, he's done amazing things. And I feel like he deserved to be on that list. It looks like now he might be retiring. So if he is, good job, Bubba.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked that you got Drew Brees at number 5, but that's your top 5. I'm glad that he's on your top 5. He deserves to be on top 5 quarterbacks, obviously. But before I get to my top 5, I want you to know Christian Ouellette is commenting. He said his first comment: Wentz was traded for a bag of chips to Indy. Yeah, he was. I agree with you. Jay, just for the record, Christian Ouellette is a family member of mine. He's my cousin. And just so you know, he is also a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, at least
he said, "What's good?" He said, "What's good, Cash Tony?"
Yeah, he's got some good skill sets there. He's picking Dallas Cowboys as a team, as do I. And, maybe one of these days, Frankie C will get on board that train, but we'll work on him.
No,
Christian, we'll work on him.
I am AFC until the day I die. I am New England Patriots until the day I die. I will always be Patriots. But let's get back on topic. And my number 5 is got to be Joe Montana. I know I got him so low. He should be on the top 3 for me. But Joe Montana was on a time where I wasn't watching football and I wasn't even born yet for the sport of football. But from watching his history videos from YouTube and everything like that, and looking at his career stats, Joe Montana has got to be on the top 5 for me. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game, especially with the 49ers winning 4 Super Bowls and not losing not one. He's literally, I think, the only quarterback to go undefeated in the Super Bowl. And he did great things. He also took Kansas City Chiefs, I believe, to the AFC Championship game when he got traded over to the Chiefs, or he got signed with a free agency. I don't know which one it was, but Joe Montana was one of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game back in the day of when football was actually football, where we like to say where tackles were legit compared to how tackles and stuff tackles in the NFL is today. But yeah, Joe Montana is going to be my number 5. I should have him up more than the 5th, but like I said, I haven't seen Joe Montana. I know I should have him higher, but like I said before this started, I'm gonna pick people that I've seen and I've watched. I haven't watched Joe Montana, but I'm gonna put him on my top 5 just because of his stats and what he's done in the sport of football. But if I was alive and around to witness Joe Montana with the 49ers and with the Chiefs, best to believe he would have been on my top 3. But Joe Montana is my top 5.
That's the problem with you young generation folk, man. Y'all just disrespectful. Just disrespectful. Didn't your mama and daddy teach you to respect your elders?
No.
You lost about 10 credit points with me, man. I want you to know you lost 10 cool points. You know what, Frankie? Me and you, when we're off screen, we're gonna have a conversation, you and me, and we're gonna get you straightened out. But until then,
I just got in trouble, everybody.
Until then, we're gonna move on to number 4 because I ain't got time to deal with your disrespectfulness. At number 4, I got John Elway. John Elway did back-to-back. So if you don't know, he did back-to-back Super Bowls, which is, a feat. I think Tom Brady's done it, but very few quarterbacks have done back-to-backs and stuff. And he almost got 3, honestly, back-to-backs, but he just couldn't pull it out. But I look at John Elway is if you've never seen John Elway play the game of football, he's a one-man band. I've seen this guy do more comebacks than even Tom Brady's done. Unfortunately, most of those comebacks were in the NFC, or the AFC championship game, the AFC. But the biggest one, like I said, I'm from Houston, so and I went to these games. The biggest comeback I've ever seen him do was when he came back from 32 points down, and it was John Elway versus Warren Moon and the Houston Oilers. And if you don't know about that Houston Oilers in that time frame and at the era, they had 9 Pro Bowlers on their team. 9 out of 22 players was Pro Bowl worthy. 9 on the defense. I apologize. 9 players on the defense. Only 2 out of the 11. Two out of the 11 were not Pro Bowlers. So that just kind of gives you how good their defense. You thought Baltimore's defense was good? I mean, these bad boys were bad. And then you had Warren Moon. Warren Moon was throwing for more yards than actually in the count of my hands, because you got to remember he was in the CFL and also in the NFL. So he's got 2 different leagues and 2 different yardages that aren't really necessarily meshed together. And I think if they were meshed together, he'd be right there with Drew Brees. Anyway, they were down 32 points. The Broncos were. The Oilers were beating them 32 points going into the third quarter. And somehow or in some fashion, John Elway, you thought Patrick Mahomes could run. You thought Patrick Mahomes could throw off the run. This dude Elway was doing it long before Patrick Mahomes ever did it. So if you want to kind of look at it, Patrick Mahomes here, and then you got basically John Elway could have been his dad or his grandfather. Honest, no, I think it's probably more his dad. He's probably more the dad time frame, but he could definitely be his elder. You know what I'm saying? Mahomes is just a carbon copy off of Elway. Honestly, he might have a little bit more flashy way of doing it, but what Elway did was exactly the same thing what Mahomes is doing now. And that guy, he ran so much, I thought his damn legs were gonna fall off when he played the Houston Oilers that day. And they can't. And I never sit with my dad, and we were watching. We were at the game, and I said, Dad, I'm a little nervous here. He done wrapped off 2 touchdowns on us. And this is Elway. You think we're going home losers? And I really thought we were going home winners. And we didn't have social media back then, so it's not like I'm just excited. Because if I had, I'd have been tweeting it all over the place, and then had to recant all my tweets. But the guy was just phenomenal, man. Just phenomenal. Mobile, strong arm, great leadership, just amazing. First QB to start 5 Super Bowls. I mean, oh Lord, man! I tell you, man, I'll never forget John Elway. He was a blessing to watch and a curse to play against you. But yeah, so I got John Elway in at number 4. Frankie, who you got?
Well, I wish I can say the same thing and go with John Elway, but like I said, I wasn't around that time. I'm glad that you're letting me know how John Elway was back in the time before I was born. I do know that he took the Broncos to many Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowls back to back. And he did great things with them stat wise. But I'm gonna go with who is in the here and now. And in the time of when I was able to watch football. And my number 4 has got to be Aaron Rodgers. He's one of the greatest Green Bay Packers to ever do it, besides Brett Favre. But he learned from Brett Favre. He done actually more right now than Brett Favre had with the Packers stat wise. He's doing amazing things with the Packers, and I like to call Aaron Rodgers honestly the Hail Mary King. He's amazing at throwing Hail Marys. He can literally get touchdowns off of Hail Marys. He's amazing to watch in the sport. But I just wish that Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. I just wish that Aaron Rodgers can do more with the Green Bay Packers and take them farther than the NFC Championship game. I want to see him go back into the Super Bowl. I want him to win another Super Bowl. I loved Aaron Rodgers when he won his last Super Bowl back in I think 2009-2010 season, and that's when he was doing his discount double check. And Clay Matthews came out with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and that Packers team was a legit contender team, and I just wish that they can go back to being that team. I mean, they're legit now, being the team to go back-to-back NFC Championship games, but I just want to see Aaron Rodgers go to the Super Bowl one more time and win it one more time, because he deserves it. he's up there in the stats. He's close, honestly, with Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady record wise. So to me, I got to put Aaron Rodgers at number 4. I got a lot of Green Bay Packer fans that will probably be mad at me for putting him at number 4. They probably want me to put him at like number 2 or something, but I gotta go with Aaron Rodgers at number 4 because I love watching that man play.
Yeah, I know. I like Aaron Rodgers. He's a great quarterback. I still can't get over the Joe Montana thing. That's okay. We will move on. We will move on to number 3. What did she say? If Watson goes to the Broncos playoff team, you think, man, he ain't going to Broncos. They got Locke. I don't think they want to give up draft picks for him. So, but I can see, if he did go to the Broncos, that he would electrify up there in Denver. So, I don't know how well he plays in that Mile High. That Mile High, that air's so thin up there for a running quarterback. I think he might struggle his first year, but I think after that, once he settles in, his lungs get used to breathing up at that high altitude. I think he would do just fine. But I just don't know if Denver's willing to go ahead with that because of Drew Lock. Cash, tell you good, Broham.
Broham. Right. Chilling, supporting the fan. Tony, share this. Broham, tell mommy I miss her. They're having a little conversation on the side. But yeah, let's move on to number 3. Go ahead and tell me who you got number 3.
Yeah, man. This is where I come back into your era of football. I like Peyton Manning at number 3. I really do. I like Peyton Manning. He changed the way the position was played, man. He was a true game changer in the world of quarterbacks. And the guy called his own plays, and he called plays, but what made him change the position was the way that he called the plays. He didn't call the plays just from like an offensive coordinator or have set audibles or whatever. He called the plays based off of the defense. He looked at what the defense was giving him, and then he called an audible to go to compete against that defense. And that's how he did it. And most people have set run plays, set pass plays, but he called it based off whatever the defense was giving him. And so now you got to match your wits with his wits. Now, a lot of the times, there's very few linebackers that could match up with Peyton Manning. I think Zach Thomas was one of them, and so was obviously the great Ray Lewis. Those are 2 linebackers that could go toe-to-toe with Peyton Manning, and they did. But by and large, Peyton Manning was just so hard because he had a lot of fake calls or a lot of dummy calls. So you really just never could get your feet wet and confident based on what you saw because you didn't know if it was a trick or not. And he just kept you on your toes. And Peyton Manning was just a super smart guy. He's second in passing yards. He ranks first in touchdowns, 5 MVP trophies. The guy he did everything that you would want your quarterback to do. And that's why I got Peyton Manning right there at number 3. Just a phenomenal guy. Like I said, when it comes to calling plays and calling them at the line and trying to get people off, nobody was better than Peyton Manning.
To correct you really quickly, he's no longer number 1 in touchdowns. Actually, Tom Brady is currently number 1 in touchdowns with Drew Brees at number 2. But I understand what you're trying to say. Even if Peyton Manning was to still be in the game today, I don't think Drew Brees or Tom Brady will even be close to him. His numbers will be even more higher than they were. But I understand what you're saying.
What I tell you about correcting your elders? Just put that thing in the comments. Everybody will understand it.
Alrighty, my number 3. My number 3 has got to be one of the greatest to ever watch. And he's one of the greatest New Orleans Saints to ever play the game. It's going to be Drew Brees for me at number 3. He's number 2 in touchdown passes, and I believe he's still number 1 in passing yards. I don't know if Tom Brady has surpassed him yet in that one, but I know that he's up number 1 or number 2 in passing yards, and he's just an amazing quarterback with the New Orleans Saints. He always done everything he can for the state of New Orleans. He's the one and only quarterback to bring a Super Bowl to New Orleans, and he did get screwed out of some playoffs a couple of years ago. back-to-back years. Matter of fact, I wouldn't say back-to-back. I mean, the first year was based on the defense, doing a low hit on Stephon Diggs when they could have obviously got a good clear tackle on him when he did the high ball jump or the high jump ball. But the next year when they faced the LA Rams, they definitely got screwed, and it really sucks because we all wanted to see Tom Brady versus Drew Brees in the Super Bowl. We got to see we got to see Peyton Manning versus Drew Brees. We never got to see Tom Brady and Drew Brees, and that really sucks because they're the two greatest quarterbacks in the NFL, and we would have loved to see those two go at it in the biggest game of the NFL. And at least go down in history to say we got to see them face off against each other in the greatest game, and we're never going to be able to see that now because we don't know if Drew Brees will be coming back into the NFL and now that Tom Brady's playing for the NFC team. So it kind of sucks, but Drew Brees is up there, and he's my number 3 just because of like the way he played the game and how his stats are and everything like that. If he would have won one more Super Bowl, he would have probably been my number 2. But right now he's on my number 3.
Yeah, okay, I got you. All right, we'll move up to number 2 now, and this is where it gets good for me. And this is why I'm gonna give you some many plethora of reasons why Montana should have been higher on your list. The best one, I'm gonna start with the best reasoning why you're so lopsided and disrespectful. The man won 4 freaking Super Bowls. Before Tom Brady ever came into the limelight as the GOAT, the original GOAT was Joe Montana. And then then Brady obviously took the GOAT status away from him, and deservedly so. If anybody's going to take it away from Joe Montana, it had to be Tom Brady. But
right,
come on, man, how do you not have the original GOAT at number 2? It only makes sense. I don't care if you watch it or not. If you look at just what he's done on the field in terms of all of his stats, if you look at his videos and watch how he played with Jerry Rice, and it's just incredible. And the fact that you had him so low, Frankie, I just want to come through there and just say and just shake you and be like, why would you do that? But I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, I'm not gonna get myself worked up because I got some high blood pressure and I don't want to kill over here. So we're gonna bring it back down a couple of notches, and we're gonna talk about a few things. He only ushered in the West Coast offense. Him and Bill Walsh ushered in the West Coast offense, which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, the West Coast offense is still – parts of the West Coast offense are still in use in today's current NFL that your boy Tom Brady and a few others were using. I want you to know that was invented by Bill Walsh and Joe Pretty Boy Montana. But you wouldn't know that, Frankie, because you only know a little bit about what these young bucks know. I mean, that's okay, man. I'm not upset or anything like that. I get it, man. But the man, like I said, won 4 Super Bowls, 3 freaking MVPs. 1989, he had a QB rating of 146.4. I mean, that's just incredible. In 1980, he completed 63% of his passes, 100% passer rating in 8 straight seasons. That's 100%, 100 passer rating in 8 straight seasons. Most people can't do it more than 5 or 6. Frankie, the fact that you don't have him here as number 2, I feel like I need to take you back to school and just spank you in the principal's office because there's no way in hell that Montana is. And the reason Montana is not number 1 is because Brady took over the GOAT position. If Brady had never taken over the GOAT, it would be Montana, hands down.
I'll tell you, I wanted to put Montana at number 2. Honestly, I was
whatever.
No. I didn't for a reason. I didn't because, like I said earlier, I wasn't around in the time to watch Joe Montana. I wish I was. He's a great quarterback. You got the stats to tell me how he was and how he did, like you said, 100% passing rating or a QBR. For 8 straight years. That's incredible. And if you really, all right, to make you happy and to make you love me again, at the end of it, I can switch it up and I'll put Joe Montana at number 2 just for you.
Oh, you've already spilled that chocolate milk. It's not like you can just take a straw and slurp up the chocolate milk off the table. It's already on the table, Frankie. It's out there.
Well, why are you gonna let chocolate milk? You shouldn't let chocolate milk go to waste.
Man,
don't let chocolate milk go to waste.
But you can't get all the molecules back on into the glass. It's gonna be something that's gonna dry up on the table. It's gonna be there forever. God, I had a really good analogy, but
we can always clean up the table and re-pour some chocolate milk into the cup.
I got some. Like sometimes you get these analogies that you want to say to your boy, but you can't say it on the airways because it's not appropriate. But man, you just got to sit there and just internally laugh at how good that comment would have been if I could have shared it. Okay, Frankie, who you got at number 2?
I'm gonna hear about it. I'm gonna hear about it at the end of the show. Everybody, trust me. Once we get off live, we're gonna be backstage, and Jay's just gonna go off on me, and I just can't wait to hear it. I can't wait. but my number 2, is gonna be Peyton Manning. He's like up there, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I love watching that guy play, especially when he was with the Colts and with Tony Dungy. They were amazing together. They had, he actually made the Indianapolis Colts relevant again, and everybody thought that the Colts were going to keep going after that, from getting Andrew Luck, and they could have been, they could have been that top team even if Andrew Luck was still around. It's really sad that Andrew Luck had to retire because the Colts would have still been that franchise because he learned from Peyton Manning. But Peyton Manning made the Colts who they were. He brought them a Super Bowl, their last Super Bowl, and then he did great things with the Denver Broncos. He had great, amazing seasons with the Broncos. He had a terrible Super Bowl 48 with the Seattle Seahawks. It would have been better to see him had a better Super Bowl against the Seahawks, but he got scraped. I don't know what happened, but he had his redemption coming back at Super Bowl 50 and winning it against the Panthers, winning his second Super Bowl of all time, and also tying with his brother, because we all know Eli Manning couldn't have more rings than big brother Peyton. That couldn't go down. And I'm sorry for all you Colts and Broncos fans for that. That's mainly our fault as a New England Patriot fan. I want to say I'm sorry because that's our fault for giving Eli Manning those 2 Super Bowl rings. They were the better team on those 2 Super Bowls, and we should have played better to stop them. So I apologize for that. But Peyton Manning did end up, tying up with Eli and getting his second ring. I would have loved to seen him. He definitely deserves to win 3 rings, if not maybe even 4, just because of how Peyton Manning was playing, during his times. And plus, his record wise, I'm sorry, not record wise, his rating wise, passing ratings, his touchdowns, he's just amazing. He was up there. He threw, I believe it was 55 touchdowns in one season with the Denver Broncos at a very hard age to do that. Tom Brady hasn't done that yet. And Tom Brady's playing at a really good elite level at the age of 43. Now he's about to turn 44. And we still haven't seen Tom Brady throw over 50 touchdowns. He just got 40, I believe it was 40 touchdowns or something this year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But we still haven't seen Tom Brady do that. Peyton Manning is literally the only quarterback to be in his 40s, or I think what age did he retire at? 39, 40?
It was 39, and if he retired with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Peyton Manning did?
Oh, excuse me. No, I'm thinking of Montana. No, 39 was Peyton Manning. I'm still thinking of the original number 2, the first one. I apologize for your alternate number 2. But 39 with the Broncos, he retired out at.
Right. So even at 39, he wasn't even 40 yet, and he's throwing 50 plus yards, 50 plus touchdowns in a season at a very difficult time. It's amazing. Peyton Manning's got to be my number 2. I know you're upset with me on that one, but don't worry. Like I said at the end of the show, I'll switch it up for you just to make you happy. I'm not gonna do it live because I already done what I said. But after the show, I'll definitely make you happy.
And we go to number 1. And at least I
know. Number 1, everybody.
I know number one, you're going to be on par with me because you got the hat on. So it would be a miracle if who I think number one is not your number one. So we're gonna go ahead and say it. Tom Brady. Hey, listen, the only record that Tom Brady has ever really set was winning, and I guess that's the only one that really ever counted. The man won more Super Bowls than most teams have. Honestly, the man's won 7 Super Bowls, more than any team out there has. And so yeah, man. I mean, 207 wins, 21 more than Manning. Just incredible what Tom Brady's done. He's got 30 postseason wins, which is number one. He's accurate. He's smart with the football. He puts it where it needs to be put. He's cool under pressure. He lets the game come to him. Just really, really, really a fantastic guy. One of the things I like mostly about him, and I put it in my notes because I didn't want to forget it because I got that Alzheimer's stuff, was that he's master of the check down and short passing game. Just incredible. Nobody could dink and dunk that ball down the field better than Tom Brady could do it. And he's got 8 straight conference championship appearances. But what I like about Brady is the intensity for which he brings to the game, not only to the competitors, but to his teammates alike. And if you screwed up in practice, Tom Brady was all over you, letting you know that you screwed up in practice. God forbid it be a game, because he would definitely be on you about it in a game. So it's basically his intense focus on the game is what I think makes him probably his biggest trait, which probably led to all those winning seasons, was that laser-like focus. He led the league in passing yards 3 times, touchdowns, passes 4 times, passer rating 2 times. I mean, the guy's done, he's checked all the boxes that you want in the number one top 5, and he gets better with age. I mean, the man's not slowing down. He's in his 40s, and he's still putting it up like he did in his 20s. And I don't see him. I can see him putting up a legit, 1 or 2 more Super Bowls. If he got 3 and he got to 10, that would just put him in a whole third level stratosphere that would, nobody's ever gonna. It's gonna be like that unbreakable record, like it's never gonna get broken. Hell, 7's probably never gonna get broken, truthfully. But if he can get all the fingers done, that would be amazing. But for what he's done right now, I tip my hat to you, Mr. Brady. I don't like you, but I recognize you.
Yeah, and Tom Brady done amazing things since Super Bowl 49. He's been literally to every other Super Bowl since then, winning Super Bowl 49, winning Super Bowl 51. He went to Super Bowl 53, didn't win it, but then he went to Super Bowl 52, and he didn't win it, but then went on to Super Bowl 53 and won it against the Rams. Didn't get to make it to Super Bowl 54, but then ended up coming back to Super Bowl 55 and winning it with the Bucs. So he's literally been to every other Super Bowl since Super Bowl 49. That's amazing. We haven't seen anybody do that, and he's still doing it. I could see him going back to the Super Bowl and winning it again one more time, or even hopefully maybe even 2 more times, but definitely one more time. I don't want to, get his hopes up or anything like that.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I think it's going to happen. I really do. I mean, like I said, if they keep the core of that Tampa Bay team intact and they don't lose anybody, who's going to stop them from another repeat? I mean, honestly, they got the experience. They got the star power. They got the right coach at the helm. They definitely got the right leader at the helm. I just don't see anybody stopping them from at least one more run. And I wouldn't be surprised if they got 2 or 3, to be honest. It just depends on they keep that core group together, because as long as Tom Brady can match that dink and dunk pass, which doesn't take a whole hell of a lot of incredible arm strength, and as long as he can avoid injury, it's going to be very hard to stop him as he gets closer to 50, which is just insane to even speak on.
Right. I really it would be amazing to see him get every single finger with a Super Bowl ring, but that would be crazy if he does do that. It'll be insane, but I don't think that will happen by the time he retires. I'm pretty sure he's got like a couple more years. He wants to say 45 or past 45. I'm going to give him till 45. I just hope that he's going to end up doing that thing where he signs that 1-day contract with the Patriots and retire a Patriot. I know he's definitely going to do that. But yeah, my number one is also going to be Tom Brady. Not just because I'm a Patriot fan and everything like that, but because the guy's amazing. He won my team 6 Super Bowls. He was a beast for my team in 2 different decades. We could sit here and say so many things about Tom Brady, but Tom Brady is not the only person to do it all. You know, I mean, he's got the passing yards, he's got the touchdowns, he's got it all. But at the end of the day, I always like to say defense wins you championships. The first 3 championships for us, it was Adam Vinatieri, and then in 2014 or 2015 against the Seattle Seahawks, it was Malcolm Butler with the interception. And then Super Bowl 51 was definitely defense for us when we were getting blown out by the Falcons. The defense turned it around for us and stepped it up big in the second half. So for that, we were able to come back and win it in overtime. And then in Super Bowl 53 was it was a straight defensive Super Bowl for both the Rams and the Patriots. Both offenses were not doing anything; they were not clicking. So to me, I like to say defense wins you championships. And Tom Brady is not the only person on the team, so it's a team sport. But we could say so many great things about Tom Brady. Tom Brady is my number one. The guy literally. I'm looking at his stats right now for career-wise with the Patriots and the 1 year with the Bucs. He has 79,204 yards. Now, we can all sit here and say Tom Brady's going to play next year. He's going to be at 80,000 passing yards. Definitely. He's going to be at 80,000 passing yards next year, and it's going to be insane. By at least the 4th game in the season, I can see Tom Brady making it to 80,000 passing yards, and it's insane. And if Drew Brees retires, we're never going to see anybody catch up to Tom Brady for like a long time. Hopefully, we'll probably see Patrick Mahomes do it, but it's probably going to happen within another 10 to maybe 12 years, depending on how the sport of football is going to be in the future. And also, he's got a total of 581 touchdowns and 191 interceptions. So that's a great ratio for those of you who don't know, between touchdowns and interceptions for being in the NFL for 21 years. For having 581 touchdowns and 191 interceptions, that's amazing. It's insane. Normally, quarterbacks won't have that. They'll have more interceptions than they do passing touchdowns, or at least close to it. But Tom Brady's just blowing it out of the water. He's amazing. His longest pass ever was 99 yards. His total sacks is up there. He's got 521 sacks, and he fumbled the ball 91 times. So he's not really good when he's getting sacked and holding on to the ball. And his passer rating is at a total of a 97.3. So he's really an elite quarterback. He's up there. We're never going to see another person like Tom Brady. So for that reason, he's our number one. And I'm pretty sure, there's a lot of people out there that really hates Tom Brady. They wouldn't even put him on the top 5. But at the end of the day, if you're a fan of the NFL and you're a fan of the sport, there's no reason to sit here and say that Tom Brady is not the number one. He's literally the only person to have more rings than any team in franchise history in the NFL. He's got more rings than Michael Jordan in the NBA. He's got more rings than Kobe Bryant in the NBA. He's got more rings and
he's just phenomenal, man. Honestly,
yeah, I love watching the man play. I mean, everybody was hating on me this year because he's with the Bucs, and I'm over here like, well, I'm over here saying I'm following Tom Brady through the playoffs and everything like that. I wasn't even going for the Bucs. I was going for Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, and everybody was upset with me on that. They're saying, oh, he's not even for your team no more. But at the end of the day, he won my team 6 Super Bowls. The man is amazing. I don't want to see, if Tom Brady's in the playoffs, I'm going to end up going with Tom Brady unless the Patriots are making it to the Super Bowl. If it ends up being the Patriots and the Bucs next year in the Super Bowl, that will be amazing. I will end up crying because it will be sad if the Bucs and Tom Brady ends up being my team in the Super Bowl. And then it will be, it will kind of hurt me or not hurt me. I will be celebrating with tears of joy that the Patriots were able to beat Tom Brady in the big one, and we were able to solidify that Bill Belichick was the one that ran the show for New England, and it wasn't Tom Brady. A lot of people like to say it was Tom Brady, but I like to say that it was Bill Belichick, because without Bill Belichick, Tom Brady wouldn't have the plays and stuff to call. Like Bruce Arians this year, he wants to say he lets Tom Brady coach and stuff like that when he's on the field. Well, the reason you're letting him coach while he's on the field, Bruce Arians, is because he learned from Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches of all time. So you're letting him coach on the field, and he's using the plays that Bill Belichick had taught him when he was in New England. So therefore, Bruce Arians, while you're letting him coach, you're letting him use some New England Patriot plays. Boom! You're welcome, Tampa Bay fans, for your Super Bowl.
Man, there's so much. Number one, Fred, I don't want to bust your bubble here on this. I don't, man, because I know you're riding a high wave on that one and you're feeling good about yourself and things like that. So I don't want to be the one that makes you feel bad about everything that you just. I don't want to be that guy, Frankie, but I'm gonna be that.
You
guy.
can do it. No, you can do it. That's what Top 5 is about. We this is what we created this show for. It's for us to tell people who our top 5 players and athletes are, and we can have debates here. Man,
you are very, very delusional, and you're thinking that you think that the Patriots are getting back, number one, even to a Super Bowl, and number 2, beat out Tom Brady in a Super Bowl. Brady he made Belichick. I'm sorry. He made Belichick. Belichick, he might have thrown the plays in there, but Tom still has to go out there against those 300-pound linemen and linebackers and everything else coming at him, and he still has to perform it. And if you think that any other guy could ask Cam Newton if he could run Bill Belichick's plays. Ask Jeff Stidham, who Bill drafted, if he could run his plays. Lack of execution wins Super Bowls, baby.
All right. Now I understand what you're saying, but can you agree with me on if the Patriots were to get Cam Newton when he was fully healthy before his arm injury and everything like that, would Cam Newton would have been better with the Patriots this year? I thought that Cam Newton was fully healthy. I was looking at his workout videos and everything like that, and he looked really great throwing the ball and everything, and I thought he was legit. But during time I was looking at him throwing the ball, and he was pushing his arm to get the ball down the field more than anything, and I can tell that he wasn't 100%. But you got to agree that if we had a 100% fully healthy not young, but fully healthy Cam Newton before his arm injury, we would have been in the playoffs and we would have won the AFC East. I mean, we would have won the AFC East. We didn't have the weapons. We wouldn't have the weapons. We didn't have the weapons. We didn't have the weapons. But we would have been in the wild card. We would have been in the wild card. No doubt about it. We would have lost the first round, but we would have made the playoffs. No doubt about it. We would have had the quarterback, but we don't have the weapons.
You know, it's something when you win so many Super Bowls that you could toss the trophy like it's nothing across a river to another boat. That's just how little it really makes you, because you just won so many of them. Here's the deal. There is one person that's pissed off at Tom Brady, and that's the daughter of the guy that made the trophy. She was fuming at Tom Brady. Couldn't believe how disrespectful he was to that trophy. Well,
I wouldn't have even been mad.
If you win it, you can do whatever you want. I mean, like, what are you gonna do?
Exactly. You telling me? I mean, I understand why she's mad, but at the end of the day, you're telling me if Tom Brady was, he threw the trophy to another boat, and if the trophy would have ended up in the water, you're telling me that one of those players wouldn't have dived in and quickly got that trophy? I'm pretty sure Rob Gronkowski would have been the first one in that water to grab that Lombardi trophy. They wouldn't let that sink down to the bottom of the ocean like what's her name did in Titanic.
Or Tom Brady were jumping in that water because they were both drunk as hell. And if they had dove into the water, I'm pretty sure you're going to have 2 dead-ass athletes, because neither one of them is going to come back up out of that water because they're too drunk to swim.
Tom Brady's too old to swim. I don't think he'll be able to dive that deep.
Man, that man could barely stand up to even walk. They had to assist him when he was walking. Yeah, Tom
Everybody
Brady
was
tore up from the floor up.
Everybody was drunk during that parade. If anybody watching, if you were able to watch it or you wasn't able to watch it, go now and watch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers their parade. It was a great parade. They literally legit had a boat parade. Now, when we call it a boat parade, that means, you got like these tour buses driving through the streets and stuff like that. No, they literally legit had a boat parade in Tampa Bay, and it was great. Bruce Arians was drunk. You can all tell that he was up on the stage with a cup of some. I'm pretty sure he had a cup of Hennessy because they were drinking some Hennessy over there. Mike Evans had the bottle and everything like that, and they were drinking some tequila, but Bruce Arians was feeling it that day. Mike Evans was drunk. Rob Gronkowski was drunk. At the end of the video, you can see Tom Brady leaving the harbor. He couldn't even stand up on his feet. Everybody's trying to ask him questions. He's like, "Have a good day. Have a good day, everyone." That avocado tequila.
Hey, look, man, it's okay to get drunk, Tom. You're in your mid-40s. You don't want another Super Bowl. Sometimes you just got to have a couple of drinks. You just got. And if it's a bottle instead of drinks, so be it.
Especially when you win more Super Bowls than any team in franchise history, and like you're up there when you're showing the picture of how many teams won how many Super Bowls. You got literally Tom Brady's face above the Pittsburgh Steelers logo and the New England Patriots logo. You got Tom Brady's beautiful face up there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's going to stay there for a hot minute because ain't nobody taking him out of it. When you say Super Bowl, you're always going to think Brady. I mean, and that's okay. This is what it is. That's how great he was, I tip my hat at him.
Do you think the NFL should name a trophy after Tom Brady? And if so, which trophy do you think that they should name after him?
Oh, wow. Well, you got to leave the Lombardi Trophy, man. Just because, Vince Lombardi he won the first – Super Bowl? I would change the Lombardi, but what I would do is I would change the MVP trophy. I would change the MVP trophy to Tom Brady's name. Absolutely.
Okay.
I could probably see at some point them changing that maybe down the line to him or something. But I think I would leave Lombardi and I would make the MVP trophy the Tom Brady trophy.
Okay. I just wanted to throw that out there real quick because I've been seeing a lot of people saying they should name a trophy after Tom Brady. I don't think they should name the Vince Lombardi Trophy after him just because Vince Lombardi won the first 2 Super Bowls. But I agree with you. They should rename the MVP trophy after Tom Brady. They can't rename the AFC trophy after him or the NFC trophy after him, but definitely an MVP. I could see that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen watching. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. What did you say, Jay?
No. I would say absolutely. You're right. Absolutely. About naming the MVP trophy. They could do that.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, that was our top 5 quarterbacks of all time. Before we log out of here, you just got like literally a 5-minute segment real quick where we just want to quickly get into. We want to switch it up to the NBA. Something happened last night, and it was crazy. The Brooklyn Nets ended up defeating the defending champions, the Los Angeles Lakers, with the final score of 109-98. It was really, really bad when I've watched that game last night. I was a Lakers fan, and it hurt me to watch it. The beginning of the game was really great. It was a tight one, but then, for some reason, the Lakers fell off, and Brooklyn ended up taking the win. They didn't have Anthony Davis. He will be out for the next 4 weeks. He did get reevaluated yesterday before the game, and they said that he will be out for a full 4 weeks, so he won't be back for a month. I think he is going to end up missing the All-Star break, but we were also without Dennis Schroeder, so that messed up on our point guard. He was out for COVID-related problems. I don't think he has COVID, but he was just out because of the NBA rules with having COVID or being near someone with COVID. You have to be out. And that's what happened there. So we didn't have 2 of our starting 5s. And the Lakers looked messed up last night. I was watching that game, and it was just a wreck. Marc Gasol was he was not looking good. I'm looking at the stats right now. Marc Gasol, he did 20 minutes. He went 2 for 5, 2 for 4 on the 3, 2 for 3 field goals or free throws. Sorry, 1 offensive rebound, 2 defensive rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers, and a total of 8 points. So literally last night was all LeBron James, and it just shows that LeBron James can't do it on his own when he's by himself with the Lakers. He needs Anthony Davis. He needs Kyle Kuzma that's the reason why the Lakers re-signed Kyle Kuzma to a 3-year deal, was because they thought that he was going to be that third man for the Lakers, and he didn't step up big at all. He went for 7 for 13, 2 for 5 from the three. He had 5 offensive rebounds, 5 defensive rebounds, 1 steal with 0 assists, 1 block, 3 turnovers, and a total of 19 or 16 points. So for the Lakers, and saying Kyle Kuzma is that third man, he needs to step it up big time. And I don't know what's going on, but the Lakers are not looking really good right now. We're 22-8. We're 9-5 at home. And I think right now we're still in second place in the West. But if we're going to want to take that number one and look to upset the Utah Jazz, we're going to have to step it up big, especially against a team with the Brooklyn Nets, who didn't even have Kevin Durant last night. He was out, but they had a big game between James Harden and both Harris. I don't know his first name, but Harris. He had 21 points. James Harden had 23 points. 2 people on the bench had double digits points. Kyrie Irving had 16 points. So everybody around the Brooklyn Nets were scoring and making their shots, to where in the Lakers you got 2 people or 3 people total that had double digit points. But yeah, it was really a wreck last night for the Lakers, and they need to step it up really big. Jay, I don't know if you got to watch that game last night, but give the fans your thought on the Lakers and the Nets.
Yeah, like I said before, I mean, if you don't have Anthony Davis, you don't have a championship. It's just that simple. It's normal. Without Durant, they're not going to have a championship either. I mean, these are 2 high caliber guys that they absolutely need, but they need them at a healthy point. They need them at a refreshed point. You don't need them just to win against the Nets right now when it's so early in the season and you're in second place. I mean, honestly, I really believe, like Stephen A. said, let that man rest to the playoffs. Just let him rest, because that Achilles, you don't want to tear that. You tear that, you lose him not only this season but next season. Let that man rest. You're in second place. You'll stay in second place. You're gonna be fine. The championship isn't right now. The Brooklyn Nets, they don't care about that. They don't care. Just let him rest. And then you need him in the playoffs. You need him desperately in the playoffs. Maybe rest him to maybe bring him back, 2 or 3 weeks from the the playoffs starting, just to kind of let his feet get back in rhythm. But let that man rest, man, because that Achilles is no joke, and you want to have him at 100%, or even at best, you want to have him at 85% or better. And the only way you can do that is letting him rest. That's all you can do. And that Achilles heel will heal out on its own. But if you keep pushing it and pushing and pushing, when these games really aren't significant, they're not really meaningful games right now. It's just crazy to even risk having him out there. Just the only downside of that is, now, like you said, now they put more ownership on LeBron James, and what worries me about LeBron James is can't he stay healthy throughout the season to do that? So yeah, other Lakers are going to have to step their game up to take some of the weight off of LeBron. But like I said, they're in a tricky situation. But you know that, man. When you get older players, like I said, this is what you got. Same thing with Brooklyn. These guys, they're a little bit older in the tooth, man, and they're injury prone, and they're going to have to start God, I hate saying the word load management, but they're going to have to start doing load management to get the older guys all the way to the end, because I don't think they can play a solid NBA season and come out at the end healthy. I just don't think their bodies can do that anymore.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't say let him rest to the playoffs, just because I'm a Laker fan, and we definitely need Anthony Davis. But you're right. We don't need to get the first spot in the West. It's okay. I mean, you do want to have that home court advantage, but I'm okay with having the second spot or even the third spot. I mean, as long as our players are healthy for the playoffs, LeBron James knows what he needs to do in the playoffs. Anthony Davis knows what he needs to do in the playoffs, and I think we'll be okay when the playoffs comes around. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. Let Anthony Davis rest. Achilles injury is no joke. Look at what happened with Kobe Bryant when he had his Achilles injury. Look at Klay Thompson with his injury. So yeah, man, Achilles injuries is no joke. Let him rest. Give him the time that he needs, and I hope that these 4 weeks is what he needs, and I hope they give him a total of even 5 weeks. Give him that extra week that he needs to fully make sure that he's fully 100%. So yeah, I agree with you. But before we go, do you think that the Brooklyn Nets will end up making it or even winning the NBA championship this year?
They're not gonna. Well, let's put it this way: Brooklyn Nets will win the championship if Anthony Davis doesn't play for the Lakers. If one of those guys are hurt, I don't see the Lakers winning it, and I don't think the Utah Jazz can beat the Brooklyn Nets. If the Brooklyn Nets are 100% healthy, they'll take out any team in the West with the exception of the Lakers. So I think the Brooklyn Nets can win the championship, but it's going to have to come at an unhealthy Lakers. That's the only way I can see them winning it, honestly.
Right, I agree with you. I'm gonna agree with you with it, but I'm also gonna say that I don't see the Brooklyn Nets even making it to the NBA Finals. They're gonna make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. If they're 100%. But I don't know. I don't see them making it to the finals. It's still too early to say. We have to wait until playoffs come. But everybody watching, please remember what we're trying to say right now. McLovin is saying that if the Nets are 100%, they can make it to the finals. But if they're facing the Lakers, they're not going to win it. If they end up facing the Utah Jazz in the finals and they're 100%, they're definitely going to take away the trophy and the NBA championship. I'm going to say that I don't see them making it to the finals. Just because the East is filled with competitions. You got the Celtics, you got Milwaukee, you have the Bulls who are actually playing good right now, and you have the 76ers. You got so many great teams in the East, and even the Celtics. I mean, wait until the playoffs come. The Celtics looking a little rough right now, but once the playoff comes, I know the Celtics are going to turn it around. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and when they get Marcus Smart back, that's going to be a great comeback for him. So the East is filled with amazing teams, and I don't see the Brooklyn Nets making it. They have too much of a super caliber team with Kyrie Irving and James Harden and Kevin Durant. It just doesn't work unless you're the Golden State Warriors or LeBron James with the Heat. I don't see it happening because look at what happened when you had James Harden with OKC and Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, and they also had Serge Ibaka as well. So I don't see that happening with the Brooklyn Nets. I would say that they will make the Eastern Conference Finals, but they're not going to make the NBA championship.
Yeah, that's a very good take, and I agree with you. Totally agree with you on that.
All right. Well, that's the end of our segment, everybody. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to our very first, I like to call, pilot episode of what we now call the Top 5 Sports Show with myself, Frankie Cruz, and my co-host, Jay McLovin. We have separate shows where, I'm on Frankie C Sports and Jay McLovin is on Unscripted. So go ahead and follow us both on YouTube and Facebook. You'll see us. Jay McLovin is now one of the editors and authors of Frankie C Sports. I promoted my man so that way he can, start posting some unscripted stuff on Frankie C Sports. So that way, if some of you guys don't get a chance to see them on Facebook or YouTube, you'll be able to see them on my page as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. We had a great first show with the first top 5 QBs of all time. Don't forget. Tune in next week to a second episode of Top 5 on Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time with myself, Frankie Cruz, and my co-host, Jay McLovin. And that is our cue to head out. Thank you for tuning in to Top 5 Sports Show.